So the last 72 hours have been absolute insanity. Obviously the situation with MrBeast star Chris Tyson appears to be reaching its conclusion, but I do have a sneaking suspicion that things are about to get much darker for Chris. Like I'm talking about them possibly being investigated in a legal way. In today's video we have MrBeast's response to the drama, his decision about what to do with Chris in general. We have things from Jimmy's past being dug up involving the Catch Me Outside girl. Basically they're trying to cancel MrBeast at this point. We have someone else coming forward who is good friends with the Lava character who we discussed in the last two videos, claiming that Chris did him wrong as well, back when he was still a teenager. So first let's talk about MrBeast's response that came out and kinda broke the internet last night. 37.5 million views on this puppy. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. And I wish he would say the acts that he's talking about, but obviously for legal reasons he probably cannot, but I won't lie, Jimmy, we did see you looking up at that poster that was in your living room. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. So MrBeast is turning it over to a legal team. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. So the ties have been severed, and the Chris Tyson and MrBeast connection is no more. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. And you guys already know when it comes to MrBeast and his brand, he's not gonna play around. I don't care if you're like his childhood friend. And to me, when he says he's going to allow these independent investigators to do their thing and then he's gonna make further decisions, I think that means that he could potentially be taking legal action against Chris and maybe even aiding people in filing some sort of criminal charges. That's just my personal speculation. I think this whole situation is going to be like that episode of SpongeBob where he's trying to get that little speck off that plate. Like MrBeast is going to do everything in his power to make sure his reputation once again hopefully becomes squeaky clean, at least in his eyes. And I did want to cover Chris's full response because in my last video only the first tweet had come out, where he gave this weak-ass apology and almost like made himself the victim, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna step away from my mental health and from my family." Like, buddy, your wife or former wife, she needs a restraining order. So he also says, "I want to add, I never to anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations, Lava, has vocally supported that they are false." Yeah, real good job, Chris. There's no chance that he was just scared for his fucking life, right? There's no chance that he was just scared to lose the biggest connection in his world, right? Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In the past, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. The thing is, Chris, it wasn't just humor. These were disgusting, diabolical things you were posting on Reddit accounts, your personal Twitter. You were extending it offline into real life with the poster on the wall. And here Chris actually claims that he stepped away. When in reality, we all know you got fired, big dog. You got terminated. It's like when you're at a job interview. "Oh, your resume looks great, but what happened at your last gig?" "Oh, it was a willful termination." Willful termination? What does that mean? Sexual assault. Now here's where we get to this guy, Nathan, who has now released his individual story with Chris, and he speaks in further detail the relationship that both he and Lava had with Chris.
Chris Tyson from MrBeast used me and manipulated me and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with Lava GS at the time, who is the main victim of Chris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for MrBeast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join MrBeast Gaming himself. Lava, he's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me.
So it almost seems to me, just watching this video, that Lava might be possibly trying to help Chris sweep this under the rug, which would not exactly surprise me if they had this close of a relationship for several years.
Me and him were both initially involved in running Chris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me.
Yeah, so apparently this is from an old Chris stream, where he says that this guy was calling him.
Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream.
This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway and Chris invited him after that, and Chris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's Mod server for the 10 million subscriber MrBeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Chris and playing video games with him for hours on end.
I told you guys just yesterday, the games are the avenue a lot of these sickos use to speak to children. Like, I can't even imagine some kid hitting me up, "Hey man, wanna hop on Fortnite?" "Oh yeah, buddy, do I ever? We dropping Tilted Towers?" Like, at the end of the day, bro was a grown man. Why are you trying to be friends with so many kids?
Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different porn and videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Now,
these are all tactics that creepy adults use to slowly lure victims in. Like, oh, let me expose you to this explicit stuff. Obviously, it's just beyond inappropriate. But oh, Chris, was that all an edgy joke too? Like, I love how when people just get outed for their absolutely disgusting behavior, they're like, oh, it was a different time, I was edgy back then. Like, bro, I remember 2018 too, it wasn't that different of a time.
Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of b***ers. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy, as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes.
And that's the point I really wanted to drive home about the Lava character, is that I still see him getting bashed a lot online, but it's like, we can't really judge him for the way he's acting when he has potentially been done so wrong for so many years and almost been like brainwashed. And the thing that really makes me sad is that these were a bunch of kids who probably thought, oh, we're living out our dream, we're getting to talk to our idol every day, we're getting to help him with his work. When in reality, Chris was just abusing their power and influence, and sadly these young kids couldn't see it. Now here's where we get to the portion of the video where they're trying to cancel MrBeast. First, they were trying to connect him to that creep Shadman due to this reply, where Shadman had posted this picture of MrBeast holding this blank whiteboard where he typed in there, "Need big anime GF. LOL, just random at MrBeast YT meme on Shad. Love it." And MrBeast says, "This is all we've ever wanted, we can quit now." And don't get me wrong, it is a little strange that he says this is all we've ever wanted when they had that poster up in their house. But if this is Jimmy's only interaction with anything regarding Shadman online, I mean, obviously it's definitely not worth a cancellation. Leon Lush, who was a co-owner of that podcast, actually stepped in to try and give more context.
Just wanted to chime in regarding this old podcast clip of MrBeast currently trending because I also happen to be in it. And I was there. So hopefully I can offer some honest perspective beyond a Twitter account farming engagement. Now, for context, this was a long time ago at the beginning of our YouTube journey when being edgy was a content strategy. Cringe in hindsight, but those were the times. Here's the first part of the clip.
I mean, honestly, I am kind of tired of people using that edgy excuse, but it is what it is.
Now, it's hard to hear, but after the "you wouldn't put your dick in her" statement, I think it's important to note he says, "I wouldn't do that, she's way too young," after the initial unfunny joke. Also relevant was our general demeanor at the time, as he also said this at another point in the podcast. Don't tell me manifestation isn't real, because here we are, almost a decade later.
But I think we also have to say that comments like that, like, I don't know, I just don't really find any humor in them. Like, I'm sure this dude right here might have a daughter or a son, and if somebody talked that way about them when they were 14 years old, well, he'd probably want to take a bat to their head, but I digress. The other clip going around of Jimmy is something that I'd seen many times over the years, where basically he just uses a slur against gay people during one of his infamous live streams.
You shut up, you stupid. The video is live, how would I call you stupid? Exactly, down here.
So yeah, I guess I just don't think that either of those clips really warrants a cancellation. After all of this, am I kind of looking at MrBeast at least a little bit sideways? I mean, I won't lie to you guys. Yes. I mean, honestly, I do hope that we get a more detailed response from MrBeast sometime in the future. Probably when it legally makes a little bit more sense for him to do so. But yeah, this was MrBeast's response. I think that the information that we got from Lava's buddy was probably the most interesting part of this video, because it just makes Chris look even worse. It's like there wasn't just one Lava, there was apparently 10. So yeah, we're gonna see where this leads. Of course, I will continue to keep you all updated, but as always, I do want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. But as you guys know, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and some other MrBeast drama out who needs to be covered, so I'm out. Peace!